This segment of Naperville Sports Weekly is brought to you by the Daily Herald.
All right, we're joined with head coach Dan Iverson of the girls cross country team at Naperville North. So thank you for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
All right, here in Riverwalk Park, team has an early season practice. What are some things that you work on earlier in the year to kind of help maybe set up that success for later in the season?
Well, you know, we've actually our workouts are always tailored for some whether it's physiological, biomechanical. But yeah, today we're working on some of the stuff that they need to hold themselves together at the end of a tough race.
And then looking at what you've done since becoming the head coach, you know, 2 state titles in the last 3 years. You won 5 overall and 12 top 3 finishes at state. How does the team continue to stay so competitive at the state level year in and year out?
Well, you know, I mean, these guys do a good job. I mean, we always have good senior leadership, and you know, they set a pretty significant direction for themselves every year. And you know, when you set the bar high enough, generally people see what they can do about clearing it. And we've been reasonably successful at that, and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of them. They really, it's been a real joy.
And you mentioned the senior leadership. You've had some great seniors over the years. Looking at the past couple, though, Maria McDaniel a few years ago, Ellie DeTuris this past year. What are some things that you're going to be looking at for your senior class in this coming season?
We've got a great senior class this year. We've got a lot of really good ones. I mean, Judy's very good, obviously, but we've also got, there's Jenny Gibson and as a returner on the top 7, and Emery Griffin and Ella Guppy both qualified for state in track. Kate Shannon's a fantastic leader and has been in the top 7 at one point or another. I mean, we've just got a really large senior class of contributors at a number of levels, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of them.
And I know it's obviously a ways away, but looking towards that end of the season, just based off last year, a lot of pieces coming back from that state title team. You look at the Hamiltons as well as Sarah Schmidt. Does that add any pressure to this season, knowing that so much of the state championship team is returning?
We always want to be really, really good, and so and we always think we should be. You know, I mean, there's always good teams around, but we always think that this is something that we should do. So I don't know that it does really add a whole lot to this. I mean, whether people are talking about us or not, we would be putting that sort of a I don't know, I even want to say pressure on ourselves. That would just be what we expect, you know. And so yeah, so it's exciting. I mean, and you know, we know that there's going to be curveballs that we're going to have to hit. We know that there's going to be things we're going to have to overcome, and you know, what those exactly are always mysteries. But you know, we're excited for whatever the challenges are.
And we've got an absolutely gorgeous day today, about as good as weather, I think, as you could possibly hope for. Yep. But some of the early meets, you know, you're going to have some hot weather. Is there anything that goes into, you know, a hot weather day, maybe, you know, pacing differently, or just kind of that conditioning?
Yeah, you got to be smart on a hot weather day. We don't get very many of them in cross country, but we do. I mean, in September, especially we'll go down to Peoria and we don't race until like almost noon. And so as a result, if it's even a little bit warm, then it's up in the 80s by then, and that's hot enough to slow you down by a lot. And so yeah, you got to be smart. You know, if you go out too hard, you're going to be in real trouble as it comes. There's always a line of ambulances there for people who made that mistake. And so yeah, it's definitely something we've got to make sure that we take care of if that's the case. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, because you know, we'll kind of be reactive with regard to the weather and just adjust on the day if we need to.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Coach. That's all the time we have for today. But once again, thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure.